absolutely steamroll you. We've seen the damage output. We've seen what the Unite move is capable of. You need to make sure that you have a plan going up against it.
Absolutely. Heading into our first match here, they do have a Dragonite in that central area for Random Gaming. Random Gaming, our purple team. Five Guys, our orange team there on the right. We see that from Five Guys, Kid Tan's one of the star players in the EU region running that Duraludon. Their plan, I assume, Sierra, is get that Duraludon as much experience as it possibly can so that it can win all of those big late game team fights.
Yeah, you want to make sure you can get that online ASAP to be able to pressure, and already pressuring happening over in this bottom path. Five Guys looking to put on the pressure before backing up to go get their own part.
Yeah, and this is really interesting. You see right here, this Greedent just being incredibly disruptive, taking the berries from Five Guys. It is over on the wrong side of the map, as Greedent often is one of my favorite Pokemon to play and watch.
It's definitely funny to see what Greedent's up to, because I feel like Greedent's a Pokemon that you never really see it where it's supposed to be. It's often the opposing central area. It's way pushed up in the path. A little bit of a skirmish over these bees. Five Guys, though, I think managed to eliminate them all and get all that nice juicy experience for themselves.
Yeah, this fight continuing here, but you will notice that Five Guys decided to send their central area Pokemon, that Duraludon, down to this bottom path. That's a huge choice that a lot of these teams have to make at that 8-minute 50-second mark. Which path is their central area Pokemon going to go? We saw the Dragonite from Random Gaming, currently Dragonair, head up to that top path, but Five Guys went with a very aggressive bottom path strategy there, and it really paid off.
Yeah, all about who you want to start pushing back. If the Pokemon along the bottom path, you don't want them to get online too early, you can throw your central area Pokemon down there. Looking at this, though, there's going to be the Squirtle, and now Greedent yet again being where it shouldn't be long, and Random Gaming being able to push around this Lucario on the top path a little bit.
Yeah, we have a lot of really interesting movement happening from these Pokemon. You know, Hoopa is making its way to the top path to deal with this Greedent, and yeah, just as you mentioned, this Greedent always somewhere you don't expect. That's one of the most exciting things about watching a Pokemon like this. And now we have a little bit of a skirmish breaking out in both paths.
Yeah, both teams really looking to apply this pressure, but they keep pushing towards the goal, keep being pushed back. Each team nicely checking the other, which is really, really nice. There's some teams that sometimes are a little bit more passive. Some like to really test the waters, test their opponents, and we can see the first match. These teams are really putting the pressure and testing each other out.
And something that you're going to want to notice here for everyone watching at home, we have a level 7 Ivysaur down here in the bottom path. That is huge. If Ivysaur can get level 7, they're in a great position for this fight because they have their Petal Dance Giga Drain build ready to go. This looks like Five Guys is in great position to take this Dreadnought right here. Almost going down already, and here comes the Secure by Duraludon.
Yeah, they were in such a nice spot from the beginning. Random Gaming didn't really seem like they could get an angle in, and just a little bit of burst damage. That's all it's going to take. Such a nice objective to be able to get your hands on first, and being able to break open that first goal as well. Get some points on the second. Five Guys, you know that they appreciate grabbing that one, and they're feeling even confidence enough to keep pushing towards this bottom back goal.
Yeah, what an incredible amount of scoring there for Five Guys. But you'll notice Greedent stayed in the top path that entire time. They are now taking Rotom. They're going to end up breaking that top goal. So Random Gaming just had a completely different strategy here. They said, we're not going to engage for this Dreadnought fight. We are going to be pushing at this top path, and it looks like it's working. Very, very close for both teams, but Five Guys able to stop that Rotom before it goes into their secondary goal.
One thing with the fact that they have to sit there and stop the Rotom is that's taken away some of the pressure from other parts of the island here. You're committing somebody from Five Guys to have to sit along that top path, try and bring this Rotom down. But Random Gaming not really applying any much pressure. It's just a little, you know, you take an objective, we'll take one, and here we go. Though it looks like a rotation up to the top path, and something nasty could break out here as already these teams, this Venusaur is having to run away, and it doesn't quite make it.
It does not quite get away from that mean Greedent. And yes, some really interesting fights breaking out across the map. You'll notice if you look at our mini map, there isn't a lot of experience to be gained throughout the map because these teams are doing an amazing job of clearing all all of it. Big score coming down here for Five Guys. And now we have a 1-point difference between these two teams because of that Greedon, who is always somewhere you don't expect. It's like a game of Where's Waldo with this Pokemon.
That it's a close battle alert flying on the screen. Yeah, it sure was. 1 point away from 1 point. Now Random Gaming's gonna able to put a little bit more in. And just in time now, I feel like these Dreadnoughts from here on out could really start to differentiate these teams. Big Unite moves coming out from both ends. All of these Pokemon looking to get involved, and it's going to be a Duraludon being able to not only secure this objective, but grab a nice couple of KOs along with it. Five Guys, a nice for him with those objectives.
Yeah, we saw that amazing Unite move from Hoopa there, just able to bring all of Five Guys down to this fight. And that's something that you're not going to be able to see from Random Gaming. They don't have a Hoopa, so they don't have that map presence that you're able to get from having such a powerful Pokemon on your team. Instead, they're hoping to take more objectives with their Dragonite and generally just be quite annoying with their Greedon. And even though they have lost both of these Dreadnoughts here, they are still in control of this match point-wise.
They definitely are point-wise, but looking at the levels, this Duraludon from Five Guys is starting to look a little terrifying, and with Kittans, that might be something that hits them a little later. Fight coming along the top path around the Rotom that's pushing its way in. Five Guys finally going to back up and let that one just go.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. When you look at a match of Pokemon Unite, the score tells you a lot, but as we always say, the level difference tells you a lot as well. Seeing that the level difference is in the favor of Five Guys means when they get together and all of these Pokemon get into a big team battle, they have a much better chance of winning. You'll also notice that while Five Guys has not taken the top goal from Random Gaming, they have taken both bottom goals already.
Yeah, there's been so much going along this bottom path, and it was only now, 7 minutes into the game, that Five Guys' own bottom goal has been broken. Random Gaming in the lead at this point, but really not by too much. These last couple of minutes, and I think the Zapdos objective coming up is going to mean a lot. Of course, Dreadnought is going to be up in just a couple of seconds, but these teams have to start getting ready and start looking towards this big fight that could be starting to break out, because we're looking to try and dance around this Lucario.
That's right, and here we have it. That Dreadnought being taken with ease by Random Gaming. Not a single member of Five Guys is there. They are actually all, except for Venusaur, in that top path. Venusaur, it looks like it's possibly waiting in this bottom path in case anyone were to come by and try to score here. And now Five Guys says we are going to even it up before this Zapdos. They are now ahead point-wise, and the question is, who is going to be able to take this Zap?
Be interesting, because sometimes you see teams not even worry about the Zapdos. Some teams, it's all about this fight. Others just want to go for the points, want to make sure this AO's energy can get dunked ASAP. It's going to be both teams, though, as the Zapdos spawns up. A couple hiding around in the grass, and there's going to be pressure coming out and big Unite moves as well. We see the Revolving Ruin coming out from Duraludon, and all of this burst damage. KO's being traded left and right, and it'll be Random Gaming to secure that Zapdos.
That's right, Random Gaming's Dragonite, someone who secures objectives amazingly, but has sort of been pushed to the side because of Duraludon, actually does take that Zapdos and give Random Gaming the ability to score a huge amount of points. But Five Guys knows this. They are running towards the enemy base now, trying to score points of their own. This match is still incredibly close. 537 to 460 with over a minute left. This is anyone's game right now.
It really is. It's going to be all about who comes out on top in the team fight, because if Five Guys can keep pushing forward to get a bit more in, you know that they could still bring themselves back. Less than 100 points in between them versus Random Gaming with the lead. Now, all they have to do is defend and secure and make sure that nobody from Five Guys even gets that opportunity.
Absolutely, and you can see what Five Guys is doing right now. They're moving around the map, they're looking for Eos energy that they can find, and also possibly charging up their Unite moves so they can head into that goal with a big shield. But at the same time, you see that Greedon making its way across the map. While we have this push from Five Guys, we have a bit of a counter push, and no, Greedon is actually basing, coming back here for one big fight. The Unite moves are coming down. If points go into this goal, Five Guys can take this match. There's still 30 seconds left. Can Random Gaming stop them from scoring? And you see across the map, Wigglytuff is actually putting points in. Oh my gosh, 595, 550, 564. This is so close.
This is so close in just 10 seconds. seconds left. Now, of course, the score is going to disappear, and as KO's ringing across the map, it's all going to be if Random Gaming has done enough, or if 5 guys just managed to get back in there. Oh my gosh, this might be the closest point thing we're going to see today.
Wow, I mean, what an incredibly close game. I'm not positive who actually came out on top there. Just barely. Random Gaming, 595 to 566. What an incredible match. And look at that, the MVP there from Random Gaming, the Greedon. I mean, what did I tell you? That's tournament, and some teams will change some things, but for the most part, if they have a working formula, they are not going to switch it up. And now we see actually a little bit of a difference here, that Greedon heading up into the top path.
Yeah, no changes with the Pokemon, but definitely in the formation. It's going to be 3 sent along the bottom path for 5 guys, but only going to be 2 for Random Gaming, and that should be interesting. I mean, if they're not going to get really pushed around too much, they're still able to get their experience. Not the worst call. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, the interesting thing that we're seeing here, so while they didn't switch up what Pokemon they're using, they have switched up their strategy a little bit. And clearly they're saying, we want to shut down Potato from 5 guys. Potato, this incredible top path Lucario player. And I'm wondering if this strategy is going to work out for them. The interesting thing about their bottom path is they have Wiggly down there, one of my favorite Pokemon, but that Pokemon is a very close range Pokemon. So being at a disadvantage player-wise in that bottom path could be really tough for them.
Yeah, and also being a player down to the bottom path is going to leave these opportunity for this central area player we already see from 5 guys rotating down to put a huge number disadvantage on the side of Random Gaming. At this point, the Durlodon pushed all the way back, and this is going to be some easy points for 5 guys to start putting into this goal.
Yeah, we can see both teams actually did sort of the same strategy, just in a mirror, essentially. So Random Gaming put all their aggression towards this top path, and they had a huge player advantage. Same with 5 guys. 5 guys put all their aggression just on the other side of the map, the bottom path. Now, I've noticed a lot of teams will often do this towards the bottom path if they're going to make a choice. That reason being that first Dreadnought is such an important objective for these teams to secure. There's so much experience to be gained.
Oh yeah, you mentioned in last game just how the level difference is something that don't really highlight as much, but can have a huge impact in these battles, and getting that experience from this Dreadnought to start getting a little bit of a jump boost on that. Insane. A couple more points going to be scored along this top path, almost actually breaking the goal, just 8 points away.
Yeah, I mean, as we said earlier, as I keep mentioning, the Greedon everywhere at once. It was in the enemy central area. It was able to take their blue buff right there. So just an incredibly difficult Pokemon to deal with. And like you said, they're about to break that top path goal right now. I wonder if the strategy from Random Gaming is an even more aggressive top path push.
Definitely looks like it now. Make sure, you know, you can pressure the other team, get these bees, but with just about 10 seconds left, it's time for the players to start going along that bottom path, potentially try and push this all-important Dreadnought objective. We saw it last time, just how big these team fights were around it. Sure enough, Random Gaming already in position and taking this damage, and 5 guys gonna join the battle, bursting it down, and actually gonna take it away.
Wow, and you saw right there, you had both Duraludon and Dragonite for Random Gaming on that objective, but it was still able to be secured by the higher level Duraludon from 5 guys Kid Tans. And look at how much they're able to accomplish with this here. Such a huge play by 5 guys.
This Duraludon on 5 guys side, it took the Dreadnought, it took 3 KOs, and now it's at level 10, and can put this insane pressure on. This is a Pokemon you don't want to get too much of a lead, and it might do some dirty things in team fights. No team fight along the Rotom though. Instead, Random Gaming is going to be taking that one for free.
Yeah, and look at this here. It's really cool what Duraludon can do. Putting down those Stealth Rocks. If Pokemon takes the full 4 points of damage from those Stealth Rocks, they also have a little bit of a stun there. So 5 guys able to stop that Rotom without doing much at all. A couple Stealth Rocks and a few attacks from Duraludon, and it goes down right now. And now we have Random Gaming actually trying to push into this bottom path goal.
Yeah, a very aggressive fight going right along the goal line there. Duraludon also popping the Unite move earlier to try and put that extra pressure, and it doesn't seem like this fight's going necessarily too well in their favor. So the Lucario is able to secure a KO and push them back.
So Five Guys up on points. Five Guys also up on level. They have to be feeling very good in this match right now, but you just need to understand that Random Gaming's strategy right here is not necessarily to be the highest level. They want to continue to put pressure on all these objectives, get rid of them as fast as possible, and then make their way across the map and score. So they're still very much in this game as we head to the 5-minute mark.
Oh, for sure. And as Random Gaming tries to push forward towards this Dreadnought that's about to appear up, we can see Five Guys already waiting in the grass, already waiting to try and take it out. As the fight's going to be pushing a little further back. It's going to be the Hoop Rings Unbound to bring everybody to the battle. But Random Gaming, it's going to be the Dragonite to grab that in the end. But Five Guys, they're chasing back. The first KO is going to go in their way with that Venusaur. They're not looking to put up the pressure there whatsoever, though. They might get punished a little bit as this Duraludon, whoa, it is striking back. KO streak of 2, but it's not the only one.
Wow, look at this. These two Duraludons go back and forth. Who can get a higher KO streak? And such an interesting fight there in the bottom path. We did have that amazing Hoopa Unite move bringing all of Five Guys down. But like you said, Dragonite just with that Hyper Beam securing objectives. Random Gaming is playing a different strategy from Five Guys. That much is clear. Sometimes you see two teams play in a very similar fashion, but this is not that at all. This is sort of a hybrid of seeing a team trying to score as much as possible with a team that really wants to put its entire team together and win big team battles.
Yeah, but considering there's just one team that's trying to score as much as possible, it's still a really even scoreline between these three. There's just less than 4 minutes left. As this Rotom tries to push in as well, there's going to be all this pressure here. Dragonite taking a lot of damage for backing up that little bit. Five Guys are responding on the goal, and Potato is going to take that lead pad as well and has to push his green all the way back.
Oh, wow. And you have to assume that, I mean, Random Gaming, that was a heartbreaking moment right there because they were so close to a massive score. Although they're still able to put in a ton of points here in this bottom path with that Dragonite Unite move, something that we've seen used a ton when Dragonite was one of the most popular Pokemon in the game, is that Unite move from Dragonite, landing onto a goal and getting a big score because that Score Shield and Buddy Barrier work so well together.
Yeah, now with 3 minutes left, Random Gaming will get notified that they have the lead going into this, but it's so close they can't really let up at all. Though it looks like Dreadnought objective at the bottom. We can see Random Gaming's playing a different game at this point. A lot of pressure along this top path and no response to the bottom.
Yeah, I think they are just going to let them have it completely for free. Again, like you said, they are playing a different game. They have a different strategy right now. Both teams getting ready for Zapdos. We're about 30 seconds away from it. And something to point out, if Random Gaming wins right here, we are going to have a rematch of the February Grand Finals for our losers bracket finals between Yerman Burger Flippers and Random Gaming. But this is still anyone's game. Five Guys in Random Gaming. Only a few points separate them, and we're getting ready for a huge fight right now.
Time for the final stretch. If Random Gaming can secure this, close this out, and have the repeat that we're looking for. Here it is, the Rings Unbound and a Revolving Ruin, and one in response. All the damage coming out, but it's going to be Random Gaming to secure the Zapdos yet again and chase Five Guys down as they head towards the goals. They're heading for their points. They got all the Eos energy in the world, and they need to cash that in.
Wow, wow, wow. Once again, we just have the massive amount of damage coming down on that Zapdos. You can see Five Guys' plan to fight at this Zapdos, it's just not working. And the reason it's not working is because Random Gaming doesn't want to fight there. Random Gaming is distracting their Duraludon and some of their bigger Pokemon, and they're spending all their time throwing down as much damage as they can on Zapdos as quickly as they can, flipping it, as they say. They are just flipping a coin, but with more damage on it, they have a better chance of that coin landing on their favor.
And so far, this end of game is in their favor. Just under 200 points separating these two. Random Gaming now, they just have to make sure that Five Guys can't go for any big damage output. You can see that they have the Eos energy in their pocket, but it's going to be a fight around these goals if they can secure that. And, you know, where would this match be if it wasn't for the green and just on the completely other end of the map?
That is right. Where is Gatlu? Where on the map is that green? And it was scoring in the main base of Five Guys right here. Five Guys right now in the same position they were in game one. Can they turn it around this time? They need a lot of big points right here, but this match is still incredibly close with 20 seconds left. Anything can happen here. And we almost have a score going in, and now Dragonite is scoring in the main base.
Doesn't even matter what's happening on the other side of the map. There is going to be some points scored, but at the same time, the points that Random Gaming has been putting on the other end, well, Five Guys have been preoccupied with this fight. I'm sure it's not going to be enough. Five Guys, they needed to be taking these members of Random Gaming out sooner, and instead, it's going to be the Dragonite with the KO streak of 2 to end things off, and I think we all know where this is heading, Spraggles.
Wow, I mean, incredible, Sierra. Random Gaming does exactly what they did last month, exactly what they needed to do, knocking out Five Guys right here. And now we've essentially got the rematch of the century, at least the rematch of the